Good morning, Arsenal community. Sunday morning live at the Albert JTV household. As I like to say, hashtag Southeast London red carpet. West Ham 2, the mighty Arsenal 5. Plenty to discuss. Demolition Day on London Derby Day at the London Stadium. But before we get into the match review, people, let's smash the Albert JTV intro. And I can see the logic behind the sign, and even though some Arsenal fans...
we actually worked a good passage of play.
Arsenal and footballing community, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to Albert JTV. Yes, Arsenal community, welcome back. Let me adjust my camera slightly. Apologies, people. There we have it. Welcome back to Albert JTV for the match review of West Ham 2, the mighty Arsenal 5. People, as I like to say, obliterate the like button, smash the like on Facebook, on YouTube, and retweet on the Twitter /X feed. It's good to be back, man, on the Sunday morning live stream, man. I like them, man. I like them. It's a bit early for some people, but it is what it is. And it's good to be back, man. Listen, another away game for Arsenal. Jeez, man, there's been a lot in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. It's mad. Big up to the Arsenal away fans. Let me get that in first. Heard you loud and clear in Lisbon. Heard you loud and clear yesterday. Your support has been immense. Trust me, it comes through the TV. We can hear you. But yeah, man, listen. Last 2 seasons we've gone to their stadium. We've had a goal fest or a goal feast, whatever way you want to look at it. But people, audio listeners, you will never be forgotten, of course, because you'll hear my Southeast London dulcet tones. So this will go on all audio platforms later, Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts. So smash the likes, people. Apologies have been a little bit late. A couple of technical issues. There's a few changes in StreamYard that you need to get a little bit used to, but I'll get there. But let's go straight into it. Lineup. I'm not going to get it on screen. I'm going to go through it. So Arsenal fans with bated breaths, whether he's at the game yesterday or watching it on TV, saw the lineup. Big up Sophie Nicolau, man, on Hybrid Squad, because I think whenever we see team lineups of Arsenal, and one thing I've always said, and I've been consistent with it, I like to think I have been, is coming into this 24-25 season, I wanted to see Mikel Arteta utilize the squad a bit more, because you've got the numbers there, you've got the experience there, you've got the youthfulness in there, and you've got people that have had a taste of Premier League action, but maybe want a little bit more, i.e. Ethan Nwaneri, for example. But listen, Rare in goal, you're in Timbit right back, Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes centre-half pairing, Calafiore at left-back, Odegaard, Jorginho, Rice, Saka, Havertz, and Leandro Trossard. Leandro the Boss Trossard, I call him. So we obviously learned Thomas Partey was missing through muscular injury, and Mikel Moreno was a slight knee problem. I think Partey's done well, really, to be honest, to get to this point of the season where there's not been no issues injury-wise. But it was going to happen. It was going to happen, just a case of when. But he's been Arsenal's best midfield player this season by far for me. Let me come to the chat quickly. Big up to you, Matt. Love, bro. Smash up the like, Matt, if you haven't already. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't even be asking you, Matt. You've probably done it already anyway. But love to you, bro. Good morning to you. So for people, when you do watch it back or watch it live, hit that like button straight away. But yeah, team lineup. Listen, I did think, even with Partey not there, we've got Captain Odegaard back. Saka's on form. Martinelli might have thought a bit unjust not to be playing yesterday, but listen, as I mentioned before at the start, I want to see Mikel use the squad a bit more. And in order for him to use the squad a bit more, you've got to trust the players you've got, because you wanted to keep him there, or two, you've brought the players in that you wanted. Period. So play them. But I did think there was enough there for Arsenal to go and get the 3 points. I'll be honest with you. That's even nothing to do with what we did to them last season at London Stadium. But this has been mentioned before, and I mentioned it myself, that West Ham beating Newcastle was the best thing that could have happened. Absolutely best thing that could have happened going into that game yesterday. Because I think whether we would have seen a different game is another story. If West Ham had obviously lost to Newcastle and they come into it a bit differently, that's my humble opinion, but they come into it with probably a little bit more confidence coming into London derby game against us. But the best thing could have happened was them beating Newcastle coming into that game yesterday against Arsenal. 1000%. And let me come to the chat quickly. Matthew. No, you know, I didn't, you know. Matthew actually prefer, big up to you, Matthew, man. Love, man. And Suji's in the chat as well. But I kind of mentioned going forward, I did it last season with a lot of the breakfast shows. I did them at 10 a.m., but there's a certain program I like to watch on the Sunday. As you might know, that starts at 10 o'clock. So I want to sort of get in the streams before that. And 9 o'clock is a good slot. It's not a slot, really, let's be honest, across YouTube that many people take up. Big up Tom Canton for doing the 8 a.m. shows on the Guntalk TV. Because, yeah, I have a job outside of doing this. So I'm not able to do them kind of streams that early. So on a weekend, particularly if Arsenal play on a Saturday, perfect. If Arsenal play a midday game, then I can potentially do a stream the same day. But yeah, I love morning slots, man. So a lion, not really. Prep yesterday, come on live today. But and plus I want to give you guys time to come and join the stream, because let's be honest, not everybody's going to join in at 9 a.m. or an 8 a.m. show. But let me come back to, yeah, big up Suge, man. Love to you, man. Listen, I saw your DM and I've had to message you back, man. You're a top guy, man. And you show the love and support as well. But I still think we'd won well, but agree West Ham winning was versus Newcastle helped. It did. 100% it helped. And I thought about it sort of more coming to the eve of the game, really. And I thought, you know what? Them beating Newcastle is a good thing for us, man. But you're right. I do think we still had enough to beat them personally. Jorginho comes in. But one thing with Arsenal is we've got a little scoring spree, man. What's that? 13 goals in 3 games. 3 against Forest, 2 against Sporting, 5 against Sporting Lisbon, and 5-star again yesterday. And I actually think we could have scored more, if I'm going to be honest. But Arsenal started that game well, man. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can sit there and talk about the deficiencies of West Ham, and you can. It's plausible. But I want to talk about Arsenal. We talk about low blocks in football and breaking teams down. And listen, let's have it right. We knew we'd have Martin Odegaard missing for a long, long time. We knew that from a while ago. So it's how Arsenal managed. But you can see by him being back in the team, Saka stepped up with Odegaard not there anyway. But when you get them 2 back for the combination plays that they offer to this Arsenal team, not just off the back of yesterday, but what they've shown in the last 2.5 years, 3 years, is exceptional. I thought Arsenal were, in the first half, they were in control. You can count on your fingers the amount of times West Ham got out of their half. And it's one thing keeping possession. Let me be clear. It's what you do with it, how you transition, how quickly you transition, and getting the ball from, I like to say, from back to front as quick as you can. Rice obviously had the opportunity to go forward a bit more in that sort of 8 role. Leandro Trossard's a good footballer, so technically, you know, you're going to get some good things from him in a positive way. And obviously, Jorginho sits there at the base of the spine. And with Jorginho, one thing I like about him, and I think that performance yesterday from him was to show the manager is, you know, Arteta wanted to keep him. You gave him the further year. He's experienced. He's a progressive ball passer. He's not a sideways merchant. He's not. There's plenty of midfield players that come across that way you see in football. But listen, I'm not making comparisons to Alexander Pirlo, because yes, you may not be the mobile, but when you have the ball in possession, he caresses it and treats it well. and gets us further up the pitch and on the front foot. But yeah, Arsenal could any Arsenal fans in the chat watch this now? Could you complain about what you saw in the first half? We were incisive. We were ruthless. We again showed we can score goals from not only set pieces but from open play. But this guy, man, it is just. I mentioned this yesterday on Hybrid Squad. I think it was 2 seasons ago, people, where he was a leading goal scorer in the Premier League. I think he got 6. I'd have to fact check that. He's got quite a few already this season. People, drop in the chat. Let me know how many goals Gabriel's got this season in the Premier League. And I think the issue for opposing teams when they come up against us from a set piece point of view is, you know what Arsenal are going to do, but just because you know what somebody's going to do doesn't mean you can stop it. It was said about Lionel Messi for a number of years. You know what he's going to do when he gets the ball at his feet, but can you stop him? You know what Saka's going to do when he gets that ball into the left foot, but can you stop him? Because he can go either way, to the right or to the left. But yeah, our set pieces are just king, absolute king. I don't know if you've seen the video footage of Gabriel's misses. Video, the little girl, oversized Arsenal shirt, singing the Gabriel King of Brazil song. It's brilliant. It's first class. It's absolutely brilliant. But listen, we get the goal to go 1-0 up. I think it was deserved. Again, set piece king with Gabriel, and we're 1-0 up. But I think from that point, even with that, is we've got the goal to go 1-0 up. Can we really rubber stamp our authority and pass these guys off the pitch? And we continue to do that. You know what it is? We scored so many goals, even I couldn't keep up at one point, but it was effortless. There was good build-up play. There was good running. I mean, was it the second goal? Trossard puts us 2-0 up. Watch that goal back again. It was beautiful. It was poetry in motion. And I think what I want to see Arsenal do a little bit more, and I'll keep an eye on this over the up and coming weeks and games, is how quickly we move the ball in the final third. Obviously speed, but 1 touch, 2 touch. Great build-up play. It was beautiful. I think it was Saka to Ødegaard, beautiful ball to Saka. And Saka in that moment, and this is where I think the difference is between him and, for example, Martinelli, when I talk about decision-making, is there's many wingers in that position, or forward-thinking players in that position where Saka got the ball, where they would have gone for goal. And the teammates would have let them know about it, that they're going to scream their lungs off and say, bad decision, bad choice. But great ball, and Havertz could have knocked it in. But Trossard makes it 2-0. And we was worth the 2-0 lead at 26 minutes with that goal. It was a fabulous goal, beautiful build-up play. And David Raya must have had the easiest 40 minutes. I had to tape that very carefully because obviously we know what happened, which we'll go into detail about. But yeah, people, put your questions in, and I'll if I don't talk to them sort of midstream, I'll star them and come back to them quickly. But yeah, 2-0 up, well deserved, man. It was just it was destroying them. And Saka again, an assist from the corner, an assist for the goal for Trossard. You saw the stat come up during the game, wherever you watched it. He's into double figures for assist across all 5 leagues in Europe. Top. Assists alone in the Premier League, I think he's if he's not top, he's near about. So I'm not talking about goals, but assists. Phenomenal. And then, of course, we get the picture up. There it is, Captain Ødegaard. Yeah, 100% easy stonewall penalty on Saka. Cause and effect. Beautiful penalty, by the way, by Ødegaard. He just caressed that into Fabianski's left-hand corner. Beautiful, beautiful penalty. And listen, this is almost a carbon copy of what we did to him last season. When their heads are down and when their heads are rolling, you put your foot on the accelerator and you make it 3-0 and you go for the kill. And I have to say, even with the finish for Kai Havertz to make it 4-0, Leandro Trossard, people in the chat, put your virtual your emoji claps in. What a pass! People, listen. I don't want to hear nothing about Max Kilman could have possibly done better. No, I'm not having that. That was an absolutely fantastic assist because he's not left-footed. He had to put himself in a position, Trossard. The ball was on. And he just put it in that position where Kilman was, he's turned. He doesn't know if he can get there. It was a perfect ball. All we needed to see now was to see Kai bury it in the onion bag, and he absolutely did it. And Arsenal were 4-0, and they were cruise control. Someone put in the chat earlier, watch alongs. I will get back to doing them. I probably will focus a bit more on. I might do one for Everton because that is, I think, it's a 3 p.m. kickoff, which I haven't got a ticket for unless one comes up. But so look out for that. But let me not digress. But yeah, what a pass under Trossard. That was a beautiful assist. Absolutely beautiful. Because what you want to do, if you're going to be playing in the team, for example, in the wide forward areas, yes, Leandro Trossard's a finisher. He's a finisher. You won't get loads of assists, but when you put an assist like that, you think to yourself, you should have more assists in an Arsenal shirt than you do. 4-0. 4-0. And then people, before I go into it, let me come to the chat quickly. I don't want to miss out you guys' chats, what you're saying in there. Let me come back to it. Comments. Let me see. Matthew, Albert, are you concerned with the 2 goals we conceded? Absolutely, Matthew. I'm not going to swear on stream because it's still Sunday morning. I was hacked off, to put it politely. I said it. I would have liked to have been Mikel Arteta for 15, 20 minutes when I want to have gone in at halftime. I know we got the goal to make it, but I'm talking about conceding the 2 goals because they came from nowhere. West Ham didn't apply any pressure on us defensively. They didn't create any goal scoring opportunities or chances. And then they get 2 goals in the space of, 5 minutes? And it's a different team talk at 4-2 at the time. I was fuming. And if I was Arteta, I would have absolutely cooked them at halftime. I would have roasted them like turkey, chicken, whatever, roast lamb, whatever. Because you can't have that. You cannot have that. Being in such cruise control, being effortless, being decisive, being ruthless. And to concede 2 goals like that. Listen, the second goal was out of this world. The first goal I pick issue with. Calafiore and Trossard sleeping. Cannot let that pass come through. Yes, it is a good pass from an attacking point of view, inverted commas, but you cannot let that goal happen. And Wan-Bissaka's back 2 in 2. He hadn't scored. I think he scored 3 goals in 4 years in the Premier League. But poor first goal to concede. Second goal wasn't even a foul. Declan Rice, perfect tackle. Poor decision by Anthony Taylor. But listen, they get the free kick. Unbelievable strike by Emerson. Unbelievable. So 4-2, you're thinking, what are Arsenal doing here? Seriously, man. Madness. FC always big up to you. Yeah, amazing, Saka. I think the record is Henry with 20, is it? And he's there already, and we just approached December. Saka stays fit. He might obliterate that record, man. He might obliterate that record completely. I should have got a drink, So I might have to grab something and walk away in about 2 seconds if I could do that. Oh, not got any refreshments. Amateur mistake. Let me come to a question from Suj quickly. Do you think Ødegaard was the reason behind this change in performance in the last 3 games? I think Arteta's opened up his tactics as well. I'm going to answer that in reverse, Suj, mate. I think one of the things I want to look at Mikel, as I mentioned the sort of the head of the stream, is how he utilizes the squad a bit more. Because bear in mind, we're still in the Carabao Cup, and that game against Palace, if we win that, we're into the sort of the deeper stages of the competition. And he has to use the squad a bit more. Then the FA Cup comes in January as well. Tactically, you want to see more improvements from him, being 5-6 years into the job. I guess that comes with better players. I guess that comes with players taking a bit more ownership. But I think it's no coincidence that Ødegaard being back in the team has coincided with us scoring more goals. Listen, let's be honest. because he's that missing piece. He's the one that sees a pass through the eye of a needle. He's the one that knits the fantastic combination player Bukayo Saka and Ben White and Yuri Timber now. He knits it well together, and you've got support there with him with Partey, who's been brilliant this season, and obviously Jorginho come in yesterday and put a really sterling performance, and he's a big factor behind it, let's be honest, but I don't want to sort of discount how important Bukayo Saka is to us as well. You know, we talk about this, the world-class thing sort of triggers a lot of people when we talk about Bukayo Saka, but his level of play since he came into the Arsenal team, Emery, Arteta, England, Europe, Premier League, domestic. If you look at his goals record against the big 6 sides in the Premier League in 2 years, it's been outstanding. Look at the goal against Liverpool this season, the Emirates, first class. He sold Andy Robertson a dream. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Suj, man. But yeah, great question, bro. But yeah, Mikel Arteta, I would love to have been in just for 15, 20 minutes and just absolutely rip them Arsenal players to pieces at halftime. What are you doing? You have bossed this game for 35, 40 minutes and you've given them the ascendancy. You had West Ham fans walking out after 4-0. That was perfect for us. So yeah, I think getting the penalty before halftime from this amazing young man. Where's the picture gone? I think I haven't got it. Never mind, but I'll put one. Where's it gone? No, I haven't got it, man. From this guy was key. Was absolutely key to get that to people. A lot of people said to me the game was done at 4-2. I'm like, not with the way Arsenal conceded the last 2 goals, but getting the penalty, the foul on Gabriel, 100% the penalty, Stonewall. And then Saka sticking that away, should have saved the penalty. Actually, Fabianski went the right way, but getting that goal for me killed the game at 5-2. And then it probably would have been a lukewarm, mild team talk from Mikel Arteta, but getting that goal was absolutely massive to make it 5-2. And then it was how Arsenal were going to come out in the second half and manage the game. It'd be interesting to know what you guys think in the chat or watching this live, actually. And I was thinking this sort of during the second half. It probably wasn't the greatest spectacle, but it's hard when you get 7 goals in the first half. I'm glad the second half went the way it did. For a viewer, it might not have been pure, beautiful football to watch. But when you score 5 goals in the first half, the job is done. It's absolutely done. It's how you manage a game for 45 plus 50 minutes. So the way that second half went, I'm going to be honest with you, forget purists. Couldn't give a toss. Perfect second half for us. Because West Ham have conceded again just before halftime for it to go 5-2. They don't want to get pumped 7 or 8 because they got pumped last season. They don't want to get pumped 6, 7 or 8. Then Arsenal don't want to give West Ham or dangle a carrot in front of them to say, yep, get another one, make it 5-3, make it a bit more tight. So it was, I think both teams were in a position where you don't want to let them back into it and you don't want Arsenal to score more goals. So for me, the second half was perfect, the way it panned out. Absolutely. Might not have been a joy to watch, but like I said, when you score 5 goals in the first half, your job is done. It's how you manage the game. And I thought they managed it well. I thought they did. There were a lot of substitutions in the game. And I guess that's where the rules been brought in, where you can have up to 5 subs. It's going to happen. I don't have an issue with it because the amount of football these guys are playing, you're going to have to freshen it up. You saw obviously the change at halftime. Gabriel came off because there was a possibility he might not even be fit for that game. But if there's any slight tweak or any kind of type of injury, you bring him off. We've got a big game against Manchester United on Wednesday, which I'm going to be there for. And we've got a massive game away to Fulham and another London derby on the Sunday at 2 o'clock. You have to manage his players well. In fact, Calafiore, again, came off on, was it? Let me double check my notes, people. Let me quickly double check my notes. It's gone out of my head now. Calafiore came off on, I think it was 55 minutes. Zinchenko came on for him. So this is where Mikel has to utilize the squad better. Not because we've got a number of games coming up, because that's part of the course, but he is a manager. He's the one that makes the changes. He is the one that watches the game and says, you know what, I need to cook this player off after 60 minutes or 55 minutes. I need to bring this player on. So obviously Kivior's come on for Gabriel at halftime as well. And then, like I said, the game's going to come thick and fast. Even when you look at the Palace games, for example, in the Cup, we've got them 2-3 days later in the league. So we have to use them better. So for me, the second half was perfect. Absolutely perfect. I need to get used to this chair, man. I changed my chair to get it a bit more upright. But let me come to the chat quickly, man. Yeah, 4 West Ham fans might as well leave and go shopping in Westwood. They're used to doing it anyway, FC always. That's what we do to them. Go on, boys. Henry and KDB on 20 assists. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Trossard, he had a good game yesterday. There's been too many games where he's either one given the ball away or he's not been effective, but he was good yesterday, Trossard. And that assist for Havertz was out of this world, because if Ødegaard had done that pass, would have been waxing lyrical. I'm not sure if Saka is world class, but the biggest compliment you can give him is he's a working class winger. He always performs at a higher level than most. Serge, I guess it depends on your threshold of world class. Because what I noticed with Bukayo Saka, you might agree with this, Serge, and people in the chat, and when you watch this back, the goalposts are always changing with him. Goalposts always change. He's got to play Champions League. He's got to win something. He's got to perform at a high level. He's got to be consistent against the big six. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. I go back and I say this, and I've said this before, Suji, if you've heard me say it. When England played in the last World Cup against France in the quarterfinal, Saka was absolutely unbelievable. He absolutely cooked Hernandez. And that's a World Cup quarterfinal against, at the time, the current world champions. You don't get many high levels than that. He was excellent against Denmark in Euros in this country. In the semi-final against Denmark, he was superb. He got the assist for the Sterling goal for England to go 2-1 up, I think it was, if I got that right. Hat-trick for England. England Player of the Year twice in a row. I mean, if that is not someone performing at a world-class level, then I don't know what. I genuinely don't. And I think sometimes with English players, this is my own humble opinion. People can disagree with it if they want. And I'm going back over a number of years, by the way. It's not even Arsenal players. I'm talking about football players that are English who might not get the love in this country because there's this kind of stigma that it's almost absurd to call it English player world class. It's been going back, it's 10 years. I mean, I look at someone like, if anybody remembers Chris Waddle in the chat, fantastic winger. Yes, he's ex-Spurs, but he played for Sheffield Wednesday and he played for Marseille in France. He is absolutely adored over there. I think if David Beckham played for, he did play for obviously some, played for Madrid, obviously. He played at PSG, he played for Milan. But I think if he didn't play in England and had the career that he did abroad, he would be much more revered. I think he's revered now anyway, but I think if he played abroad, and I think the same thing, if Saka wasn't English or he played abroad in other countries and put up the numbers he does and the performance levels that he does, Serge, people will talk about him differently. It's because he's in an Arsenal shirt and is that sort of trepidation or tendency to say that somebody's world class who happens to be English. That's just my own personal opinion. But listen, if he adds if he added a Champions League or a Premier League to his honours list, people will turn around and say he's got to win a World Cup or an Euros. It's a path, of course. The same thing is labelled at Messi and Ronaldo. They got to win something globally. No, they don't. Look what they've done in their careers. Are you insane? At the time, Ronaldo went on to go and win the Euros with Portugal. Messi won the Copa America and he's won the World Cup with Argentina now. But my point is, people will always move the goalposts, in particular rival fans. In particular. See, watching the game at 3 a.m. the first half was what I wanted. The second half was just a professional half. Yeah, exactly. The job was done. You score 5 goals in a half. You shouldn't be losing the game. You shouldn't be. Yes, I would love to Arsenal to go and make it six or 7 Would have been beautiful, but the damage was done. And like I said, for me, the second half went the way that I wanted it to. Take the foot off the gas, be professional, don't get any players sent off, don't get any stupid yellow cards. And then let's come back to Saka actually. Let's come back to Bukayo, man. Let's get him on the screen, bro. Now, Sergio's obviously touched on it. Sorry, about Saka. This is let me throw my 2 pennies in on top of what I've already said. What I also like about Saka, and I mentioned this yesterday on the Hybrid Squad, no Sophie mentioned it as well. Big up Sophie Nicolau, man. Yes, when he smiles, he's adorable. I'd love to adopt him if I wanted to have kids, because that's how much I love him. And you guys might have seen this piece when he went away with one of the England camps, and I think did TalkSport do it? I can't remember, where they was asking England players who would be the best son-in-law, and they obviously spoke about Bukayo Saka as James Maddison, Tottenham, Jack Grealish, Man City, Callum Wilson, Newcastle, and obviously when Ramsdale was at Arsenal at the time, Luke Shaw at Manchester United. The way they speak about him, if you just look at their faces, and they don't play for Arsenal, the players I just mentioned, they love him, absolutely love him. But what I like about Saka now is, and maybe Mikel said it to him, maybe Saka's taken it on board, maybe it's part of him having the captaincy at one point, but it's not that Saka's got a nasty side. It's that perfect example. We played Tottenham away when we won 1-0. Timbers got into a skirmish down Tottenham's right-hand side with Poro and Van de Ven. Saka was the first person there to give it large. That's what I said. When he got a yellow card yesterday, I applauded. He was in there. The guys tried to kick Timber. Saka's in there defending his team. Yes, we call him Starboy, but he's a man. I like the way he's showing that aggressive side. He's been kicked to pieces for 2.5, 3 years. And he stood up big time. And that's what I love about him. Get a yellow card, so what? Saka's there. The aggressor now. Not just talking with the ball at his feet, standing up and being counted. And of course you should be like that. Gabriel will go and do it. Ben White will go and do it. Declan Rice will go and do it. This Arsenal side are not to be pushed around anymore, like we was 4 or 5 years ago, by the Stoke Cities of this world, or the Watfords, or people making certain remarks about Arsenal. This side will not be bullied anymore. And I like the way Saka has got that aggressive nature about him now. I love it. Keep it going, son. So hopefully that answers your question, people. But yeah, that's one side of Saka I like to see it, and I love it. I absolutely love it, like Keegan used to say. Let me get that back. Let me get that comment off the screen. Sorry, man. Love you, Suge, man. When Salah does leave Liverpool, Saka will be the ideal replacement for him. And that's the thing. That's been spoken about. I think Klopp spoke about it when he was there. But Saka's levels at the moment, not even at the moment. Let me be clear. His levels for Arsenal, England in the last 3 years has been elite. Elite, world class, top class, high level, whatever you want to phrase it. Let's cut through the red tape. He's phenomenal. I like that word. That's a good one. FC always. Audio listeners, if you wonder why I'm laughing, FC always put a good thing in the chat. It's beginning to look a slot like Christmas. I like that. I saw an interview. It was done at Euros or World Cup. Yeah, it was the way they speak about Saka, his peers. If Saka keeps his level up, he's got a good chance of picking up some accolades towards the end of the season. Nketiah still hasn't scored a goal for Palace. It's mad, isn't it? It's crazy. Listen, you cash in. That's one bit of good business Arsenal effort absolutely did do, 100%. But yeah, professional performance, man. I'm not going to keep on going longer, guys. There's big up to you for people watching this on all the platforms. And like I said, all your listeners, you will not be forgotten. Let's look at stat-wise, people, yesterday. Bear with me. Arsenal 59.9 point possession. Shots 16, shots on target 7. Well, that's not a bad. 5 goals, 7 shots on target. Good. Shots off target 5, block shots 4. Total touches in the opposition box, 32 for Arsenal. So complete dominance. Corners, 10. So we've backed it up from a stats point of view. We've backed it up from the eye test, what you're seeing with your eyes in front of you. And like I said, 13 goals in 3 games. We're going well, and we're going to have to go hell for leather now, Arsenal. We're going to have to put a run together that is going to be something we've never seen before. We're still in the cup competition. Listen, we get through Palace, and you've seen the draw with the other teams in it. Listen, utilize that squad. Blood Ethan Wan more because he is absolutely ready. Don't get it twisted. He's ready. Keep these guys chomping at the bit, man. Our right hand side, I thought I couldn't get better than White, Erdegaard, and Saka, but Timber there was pure class. Suj, I love you. I want to talk about Timber quickly. I wish I had a picture up of him actually, but I haven't got it. It'd be interesting to know what you guys think. Let me get the question up again, or the statement from Suj. I spoke about this just on Hybrid Squad, and I spoke about this on my channel previously. Sort of the beginning of the season. I remember Timber along with Partey are very high risk injuries because we have to manage these guys well, but even particularly more so now with Timber, because obviously Ben White being out for a while. And I heard the surgery went well, actually. I think Arteta touched upon it. One thing I like about Timber, and you watch him closely, his positioning defensively is outstanding. And I said that in the early part of the season. Now, I'm not saying anything that Arsenal fans didn't observe already, depending on what Arsenal podcast you watch, but if you watch him closely from a defensive position, if you watch back some of the snippets of games that we've played already this season in the Premier League, maybe in the Champions League, his ability to be in the right position at the right time, to not overcommit, and I'm not even talking about him from an offensive point of view. Excellent on the ball carrier, gets you further up the pitch. Combination play with Saka, Erdegaard, superb. I saw Potsy put out a reel on his channel, 12 Man Podcast, talking about he has the potential basically to be one of Arsenal's best ever right backs. It's a big statement. And I'll catch up with Potsy and talk to him about it. But I understand why he said it, because you look at right backs at Arsenal over the last 15, 20 years, maybe longer. We've had some bloody good right backs at Arsenal in our history. But fast forward 20 years later, I'm talking now to you on the podcast live in this live stream. Timber, keep him fit, wrap him up in cotton wool, left back, right back, and he can fill in an emergency right centre back if we need him. He steps into midfield. He knows when to do it. He knows when to invert. He knows when to keep it solid in a 4 or in a 3. I saw that when we played Villa away in particular. Defensively, excellent. Excellent. And you're obviously seeing even more so now with his performances. Superb. Absolutely superb. And I said it before, we talk a lot about recruitment at Arsenal and what we've got wrong. It happens in recruitment. It happens in recruitment. You get some good, you bring in some gems, you bring in some not so great ones. He's been a fantastic purchase. And bear in mind, this is his first full season because he missed the whole of last season. But listen, if we keep him fit and he keeps on playing, displaying the levels that he is at the moment, he is a superb acquisition. We talk about Gabriel and Saliba, and Gabriel not getting any flowers. We bought Gabriel and Saliba for 27 million euros each. We have committed daylight robbery on Europe, the transfer market, but there are centre backs. But yeah, let's go. I can see him filling in the 6 if we need to. Yeah, absolutely. He's been a fantastic purchase, not just for what we're seeing now recently, but also his ability to fill in other positions, probably even more than 1 or 2, as Sue just mentioned in the chat. But people, we've come to an end on this Sunday morning. Let me do a few more. Let me do some housekeeping before I go, actually, because I want to give him a little plug before I get there. But people, if you know Gunnar Russ, you can see the canvas to my right-hand side if you're looking at the screen, but I'm going to get a better picture of it. I'm going to give a plug to my guy, Russ, man. Where is he? Russ does some amazing photography bits, which are which are going along the bottom of the screen. Well, let me get the picture up. Actually, it'd be easier for me to do it. I've got a couple of slides here. Big up Russ, man. Russ does some amazing Arsenal prints, man. Obviously, his photography work and his digital print work. There you have it. Those are two excellent pieces done. I'm going to get some more pictures up, actually, people. All the listeners, if you sound confused, you shouldn't be. I'm bigging up one of my good friend, fellow Arsenal, Guna Russell Hogg Photography, Arsenal prints. I'll get the one up with me that I've got. So the one I'm holding up there now is the one I've got in my flat now. Brilliant, lovely print. Looks even better in the flesh. So people, check that out. The Instagram handle is going along the bottom of the screen, and Russ's email is going along the bottom of the screen as well. It's also in the link in my description. So make sure you follow Russ on social media and check out his amazing Arsenal print work. So I need to give him a shout out, man. I need to get some. I'm going to upload some more prints of his and showcase it even more. Russ, if you don't hear this now or hear it back, Jenny will definitely pass on the message. Happy retirement, my friend. Happy retirement. But I will see you at the game very, very soon. Oh, I've missed out my overlay with Saka on it. Where's it gone, man? Can't miss out Saka, man. Where's he gone? There he is. But yeah, people, check out Russ's prints, man. Absolutely amazing work. Amazing, amazing work. Let me come to chat quickly. Yes, listen. Suj, follow Russ on what I'm going to do is I am going to share Russ's thing on my Instagram story, and then you'll see. And I'll probably put it on my TikTok as well, actually. Get Russ getting some funds in there, man. Take him and go and retire in Mallorca or Maracas, wherever he wants to go, and take Jenny as well. But guys, honestly, big up to the people in the chat watching this live on YouTube and Facebook and across the X feed. So people, if you don't know what to do by now, this is what you should be doing. There you have it. Like, share, and subscribe, people. I didn't even put my logo on for the thing, for the stream, man. Terrible. That's an amateur mistake. Let me put it for the last 5 seconds. There it is. We're on Albert JTV with my retro top on. But yeah, man, big up to people in the chat. Thank you for your amazing interaction on the Sunday morning. It is 10 to 10 now, UK time. And people, Albert will be back. I'm going to the game on Wednesday, as I mentioned. Look out for me on Hybrid Squads covering the women's game, Arsenal women's. They're on a good run at the moment, winning games galore, scoring goals galore. The days of Jonas Iderville have gone by us. I need to rewatch the Lionesses game yesterday against USA. I do know what the score was, but thankfully Sophie didn't tell me at the time when we did the live stream on her channel on Hybrid Squad. Big up Hybrid Squad as well. Episode of Live Stories should be coming out in December. Live episode. Got an amazing guest coming on. Just need to sort out the actual day. But yeah, keep watching, people. My Instagram and Twitter handles at the bottom of the screen. Keep an eye on my TikTok, my Instagram, and my YouTube channel, and whatever I post on the other socials. So that is Albert JTV over and out. Get your virtual waves, goodbyes, and hugs in. Smash the like button. Audio listeners, look out for when I put this out on the audio. But Arsenal, 13 goals in 3 games. Big game on Wednesday against Manchester United. And obviously followed by the game of Fulham on Sunday. But people, look out for content from Albert JTV. That is Albert JTV over and out for another live stream. God bless, people. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.